Hi everyone, I am Rihanna MS, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, SNIT Adur. We are studying the subject Civil Engineering Project Management for 8th semester Civil Engineering as per APJ-KTU syllabus. In this we have already studied the 4th module and 5th module, and now we have started to study the 6th module, and the first portion of 6th module is over. We have studied what is contract, what are the contract documents, what are the conditions of contract, essentials of contract, which are the different types of contract, etc. in the previous session. And in the last session we have studied about what is tender, which are the different types of tender, what are the informations to be included in a tender notice, tender document, etc. And today our topic of discussion is a pre-qualification procedure for tender and some important terms such as earnest money deposit, security deposit, quotation, etc. So we are studying module 6 construction procedures. Today our topic of discussion, first one, we have to discuss the procedure for inviting tender. The first step is preparation of tender documents. In the last video we have covered what all are the documents to be included in a tender document. The second step is the issue of notice inviting tender or tender call notice. The third step is submission and opening of tenders under scrutiny. Fourth step, acceptance of tender and award of contract. So these are the process or involved in tendering. Now, what are the contents to be included in a tender notice? First, it is essential to enter the information of name of department which is inviting the tender. Second, the name of the work and location. Then the designation of the officer who is inviting the tender, that is the designation of the authority who is inviting the tender. Last date and time of receipt of tender, the period of availability of tender document, cost of tender document, time of completion and type of contract, earnest money deposit to be paid, date, time and place of opening the tender, designation of the officer opening the tender. So these all are to be included as information or contents in a tender notice. Now, what is earnest money deposit and what is security deposit? What is the difference between this? Earnest money deposit. It is the amount of money to be deposited along with the tender document to the department by the contractors quoting a tender. The money is a guarantee against the refusal of any contractor to take up the work after the acceptance of his tender. In case of refusal, this amount is forfeited. The EMD of contractors whose tenders are not accepted will be refunded. Usually 1 to 2% of the estimated cost of work is the earnest money deposit. Its short form is EMD. Next, security deposit. The contractor has to fulfill all the terms and conditions in the contract and has to maintain the quality and speed of the construction. Security deposit is the amount of the contractor that has to deposit with the owner before awarding a work after his tender is accepted. This amount is usually 5 to 10% of the estimated cost of the project and is inclusive of the EMD already deposited by the contractor along with the tenderer. This will be refunded to the contractor after the completion of the project. If there is any fault in the construction and the contractor refuses to reconstruct the particular work, then the department will carry out work using this security deposit. If the contractor fails to do so, the whole or part of the security deposit is forfeited by the department. No interest is paid on the security deposit. Now we have to study what is the difference between liquidated damages and unliquidated damages. Liquidated damages. It is an amount of compensation payable by a contractor to the owner due to delayed construction. This amount of compensation is not related with the real damage. This does not relieve the contractor from his obligations and liabilities under the contract. In case if a part of the project is used by the owner before the completion of the work, the amount to be paid is reduced in proportion to the value of the part that has been utilized after issuing the certificate of occupancy. Next is unliquidated damages. It is an amount of compensation payable when a contract is broken. The party who suffers such a breach is entitled to receive this amount from the party who has broken the contract. Now, firm price and firm period, short tender notice and quotation. Firm price and firm period. Sometimes the owner award the work at a firm price or fixed rate. As the labor, wages and material costs increase, it is advisable to provide escalation and overrun compensation. Firm period is the duration of time over which the firm price is valid. What is short tender notice? When work is to be completed very quickly or no contractors prefers to accept the work, then a notice with short duration is again published by the client or the tenderer. Such a notice is known as short tender notice. Now, what is quotation? For small jobs, the owner or the engineer gives an offer to the contractor for quoting rates for the works and supplies required. No EMD is required for this type of quotation. Now, we have to study the qualification of the contractors. Registration of contractors. The contractor must get himself registered in the department for which he is interested to take up works. Government contractors are entitled to do government jobs if awarded. Contractors are classified according to the registration and registration fees, and depending on this, they can undertake works up to certain amount. There are A class, B class and C class contractors. Now, pre-qualification of contractors. The pre-qualification refers to the evaluation of creditworthiness or potential of a contractor. Pre-qualification is used to identify the contractor who would be allowed to tender for certain contracts. Pre-qualification of contractor is an information gathering and assessment process that determines a contractor's capacity, resource management process and performance. The purpose of pre-qualification is to assess the technical and managerial efficiency of the contractors. Sometimes works are awarded on the basis of quotations invited from a group of selected tenderers who are considered suitable for that particular job. This method is known as pre-qualification and it saves a lot of time. In the advertisement itself, it must be mentioned that only contracting experience in the particular work should submit the tender. Next is pre-qualification procedure. The procedure involved, the first step is invitation to pre-qualification. Second step, the tender selection stage. Third step, evaluation of the criteria. Fourth step, select the suitable applicant from the different contractors. and the last one is formation of contract with that particular selected applicant. So first of all, an invitation for the pre-qualification is made by the client, and then thereafter the tender selection stage is there. Then they will cross-examine the or evaluate the criteria, and after that they select a suitable contractor and thereafter forms the contract. Now, execution of works. Before a work is taken in hand for execution, the following conditions should be followed systematically. First one, administrative approval or rough cost estimate should be prepared. Technical sanction from the authority should be obtained. Transfer of funds to PWD or other such departments. Handing over of land to PWD or other such departments. Decision by the competent authority on mode of construction. This should be strictly followed for government works. The procedure should be strictly followed for government works. The activities involved in execution of works. First one, there must be an effective supervision from the engineer's part. There should be a site order book. There should be details regarding the issue of materials. There should be scope of sanction. Then there should be a progress report regarding the work. And there should be a report regarding materials at site account. And there should be details regarding the payment. And a report regarding excess over quantity, excess over estimate, etc. So hoping that you have understood these portions clearly. Okay, thank you. Stay safe. Have a nice day.